What's going on, my little piglets? It's your BFF Pork Chop here, and I'm coming at you with another update with Pork Chop. I asked you guys if you wanted me to do this twice a week, so here is the first of the two. So the other one will be posted probably on Saturday or Sunday. I haven't decided yet. But there are a few topics I want to talk about today. Holy crap, there are a few topics I want to talk about today. I'm burning up, y'all. The sun is about to go down. It's still 97 degrees right now. I have been told that today was going to be the coolest day for the next 10 days here in Amarillo. And it got up to like 102 today. So that tells you something. That tells you how freaking hot it's going to be. And whatever, I'm in air conditioning most of the time. I've been blasting my AC here. The only problem is when I do in-town deliveries for the wholesaler, the van that I drive, the air conditioning goes in and out, so it's very inconsistent and it's very annoying. And you just got to roll with the punches, and maybe I'll lose a little bit of weight sweating, a little bit more weight sweating all this. I've actually plateaued. I weighed myself on Saturday, and I'm still a very, very slim 227.7. So technically I've plateaued. Technically I've gained a little bit, 0.7 of an ounce. So there you go. Guys, continue to keep asking me questions on here. Ask them here, down below, or ask them on my Facebook page or what have you. Just ask me some questions and I will answer them. I promise I will answer them. And so there are a few topics, like I said, I want to talk about today. The biggest one that happened today was the pushback of Halloween Kills. And Halloween Kills is going to be the sequel to the 2018 Halloween, not to be confused with the John Carpenter Halloween and the Rob Zombie Halloween. This is the third rendition of the title Halloween. It's very confusing, and they pushed it back a year because of COVID. And you know, it boils down to the almighty dollar when it comes to making movies, and they pretty much established that they weren't going to make any money on demand, so they decided to hold it until next Halloween. I think October 15th, 2021 is the new official date. I kind of saw this coming, but I was still very depressed when the announcement was released, and we watched the movie, did a video about it, and they kind of Nostradamus themselves. They did the video before they officially announced the pushback, and it's kind of funny because they're like, we know what's going to happen, so we're just going to go ahead and make this video now before they announce it. And they did, and it happened today. And one of the funny things is people have been clamoring for a teaser trailer for Halloween Kills, and it wasn't coming out. It wasn't coming out. It wasn't coming out. Usually a teaser trailer drops like 6 months to a year before the movie comes out to kind of get you hyped up for it. This one was just lurking, and it never came out until they announced the delay, and then it came out. So it came out like 17 months before the movie comes out, and it's cool. It's a little teaser, and it shows pretty much where the movie ends with the three females, and Laurie Strode is losing her mind because the fire trucks and the ambulances are going to her house, and she's like, just let it burn, just let it burn. And then it shows a side visual of Michael Myers in the mask, and it's like Halloween Kills. It's going to be October 15th, 2021. And so that means this is getting pushed back a year, so that means Halloween Ends is getting pushed back 2 years. So it's a little frustrating, it's a little ridiculous, but hey, you make a movie for millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you don't make it to break even or to lose money. You do it to make a profit so you can keep making movies and keep people on your payroll. And I understand what they did, because they knew that it wasn't going to be good for it to be VOD, and that it needs to be in theaters. And I think we need to do it. A friend of mine, Logan, had mentioned he's okay with the pushback because he wants to see it in theaters. And if this is the only way we can see it in theaters and actually enjoy it like it was supposed to, like God intended, then we push it back a year. It sucks, but what are you going to do? And it's okay. We're going to be okay, y'all. It, like I said, sucks, but we'll manage. And then another topic I want to talk about was the DeSean Jackson situation. His interesting social media post quoting Adolf Hitler, but he actually didn't quote Hitler, so it was very anti-Semitic. And now the Jews want to cancel him. We're in a cancel culture, and DeSean Jackson, D-Jax, is now the next contestant when it comes to this. But he's not getting canceled. He's not going to lose his job. But pretty much the Philadelphia Holocaust Memorial, pretty much ambassador, president, whatever you want to say, invited him to tour the museum, and D-Jax accepted it. So he's going to go learn a little bit, which is okay. Okay, so here's my big point about this. This is going to be my soapbox for a little bit, but you grow. You don't just give up on something. You let it grow. You let it learn. You let it take its mistakes and flip it on its head and say, you know what? I'm not going to let this define who I am. And that's what they're doing with the DeSean Jackson. He apologized. The organization said that they felt terrible about it. But he was given that opportunity to go to the museum. And that's great. I'm glad that he accepted. Being a Cowboys fan, eventually, your favorite team stops at a certain point, and it becomes just a unity through the NFL organization itself. And whether he's an Eagle, a Cardinal, a Bronco, a Jaguar, it doesn't matter. He's an NFL player, and he needs to be held accountable for his actions. And cutting him for something that he mistakenly did, he instantly had remorse and regret after the fact, shows his character. And it's going to be something that I think he can grow from and have an opportunity to kind of have a light spotlight be on his the way that he sees it now. And it's kind of like, I understand where I screwed up. Thank you for not canceling me, and thank you for just telling me like it is. And yeah, there you go. DeSean Jackson, we all make mistakes. Not to quote Hannah Montana, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. So, glad this is a learning opportunity for him and not a canceling opportunity for people. There was one other topic I wanted to talk about with y'all today, but I completely forgot. I just had to get those two big ones. Ringo Starr is turning 80 years old, y'all. And I was listening to a morning show on one of the local stations here in town, and they were saying about the end of the golden oldies rockers, that being like Neil Diamond and Simon and Garfunkel and Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney, that they're closer to the end than the beginning, if you will. And it's something scary to think about, because these are people that I grew up with, and my parents even grew up with. And just to know that very, very soon some of them might really be starting to die out. I mean, that's what happened with Little Richard. He was like the godfather of rock and roll, and he just passed away. And it was very sad. And, it's going to be very sad when we lose Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney, because the Beatles had such an impact. I mean, I'm not the biggest Beatles fan, but you know what? I can understand and appreciate the impact that band had on my favorite bands like Kiss and stuff like that. And in all honesty, I mean, I kind of had that sinking feeling of, it's going to be sad when they pass, but then I started thinking about my heroes in rock and roll, that being Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, pretty much the original lineup of Kiss, and them almost in their 70s, them getting up there, them getting up to the 70s plus. I believe Gene Simmons is in his 70s, and that's sad for me to think about, that in my lifetime he's going to be gone. And this is a guy that I grew up idolizing, and I grew up impersonating and reciting the lyrics, and kind of pantomiming his stuff, his moves and stuff like that. The way that he kind of like stomps about, and he like lifts up his arms, and he like sticks his tongue out, and he does like the beating on the chest back in the 70s that he used to do. So yeah, I kind of got that brief feeling. Well, actually, it wasn't brief. It took me like 2 months to get over it. And I'm still very sad about it. When Kobe Bryant died, one of my heroes. Back when I was a kid. Right as I was starting college, I made a collage of, it was called Colin's Heroes. And it had like 5 people on the left and then 5 people on the right. Some of them were serious, some of them were comical, some of them were I had to put them in there. So like, no particular side or no particular order. I had Gene Simmons, I had the most interesting man in the world, I had Ted Danson, I had Jesus Christ in there, I had George Washington. Like, I had all these people in there, and some of them are dead, some of them are still alive, and but legends never die. So when they do pass, then that's a whole different ordeal. I guess you can do a shot, like make a drinking game of how many times I said tonight, because that's how tired I am. I worked both jobs today. Luckily, I got to get off of my second job about an hour early, so I get to go home and relax a little bit. Have not been sleeping well. The most that I've gotten this week so far is 5 hours and 45 minutes of sleep. That's not good. It's been researched and discovered that I need at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep to actually like function properly. And I could tell, because about halfway through the day I was starting to lose energy, and I was starting to lose stamina and my steam, mostly because I was sweating like crazy because it was so freaking hot, and I was delivering in town with a van with no air conditioning. And then I kind of get my second wind a little bit when I go to Pizza Planet. I get a little bit of a second wind, and I drink a Diet Dr. Pepper or two, and get that caffeine, get the juices flowing a little bit, and that usually is my saving grace. But tonight, I drank 2 of those, and no avail. I'm still very, very tired, and I can't wait to go in there, eat, and watch a couple episodes of Mom. That's the new show that my wife is starting to watch, so I'm watching it, and it's a good show. It's a very good show. I think it's from the creators of 2.5 Men, and 2.5 Men is one of my favorite shows of all time. My wife just texted me, "Are you ever going to come inside?" Like, ever. Eventually I will. I got to make this vlog. And they tackle some very hard topics, like drug abuse and spousal abuse and rape and adultery and all these other things. Like, they tackle some very interesting and hard topics, like very, very hard. And And a cop just drove by my neighborhood really, really slowly, so that kind of gave me the willies a little bit. Probably looking for those damn kids that keep popping off fireworks. It's July. Hold on a sec. Yeah, it's July 8th, y'all. It's been 4 days since Independence Day, so we need to cut back on the fireworks. But they're still doing it almost every single night, popping off the fireworks, and it looks like there's a cop patrolling the neighborhood to see if he can catch the kids. And just be cool about the fireworks, man. Reserve them for 4th of July next year. I have 2 dogs that the night of the 4th did not sleep very well, and my beagle in particular was by my side on the bed, just shaking. She eventually calmed down at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but from like 11 to 2, she was just anxious, and it wasn't good. And we got to think of our elders. We have to think of our, military or former military with PTSD, things like that. We got to think of our pets, guys, because I had 2 pets that were freaking out because of it. And besides, it's illegal to do them inside city limits. You got to go outside. We're still in city limits, so I think that some people are getting like $200 fines. Some people are getting like $2,000 fines. I guess it just depends on how much they catch with you. But anyway, just my little 4-day late PSA, PTSD PSA, post-traumatic. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so tired. But anyway, so please participate in those poll questions I got going on. I got a few. 2 weeks or 15 votes is my limit, and whichever comes first. And right now there are a couple of them that need some attention. There's one that is at 50-50. It's at a split, so I need a tiebreaker or something. And that would be lovely, because the question was, when I do the retrospective, hopefully this fall, fingers crossed, I don't know, COVID, has kind of screwed up the year, but it's also given me a little bit of time to write the retrospective and stuff like that. Like I'm not even a percentage done with the retrospective like I want it to be. But I said, do you want me to do it serious or do you want me to do it comical? And right now it's a 50-50 split about serious or comical. So if you have not voted, go vote. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank y'all so much once again for dropping by. Please continue to participate in those polls. I'm going to ask y'all some frequent ones pretty quickly throughout the week, mostly for Madden 21 with the Huskies and all that good stuff. But always remember my little piglets. Colin Pork Chop loves y'all the mostest. Y'all take it easy, guys, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys!